So I've been working kind of little short bursts the last like 2 weeks. My hand is still recovering. It's getting better-ish, I guess. I think it's probably going to be something that is going to be a long-term problem, unfortunately. Not long-term, but it's going to be something that's going to take a while to completely heal. Um, that said, I did get some stuff done in the last couple weeks, and I'm really happy. One of the big things I got working is the talent system, so that's really great. Just kind of quickly go through some stuff. The stat screen is one of the pieces that I got working last week, I think. Um, Nothing super huge changed, but one of the biggest changes is that I originally wanted to have that kind of wheel system where clicking on a stat would make the wheel turn and it would have a stat up at the top that you could read more efficiently. Realized that's kind of dumb. It would look really cool and be like kind of a cool little feature, but in terms of what the stat screen is supposed to be doing, it didn't really make a lot of sense. Stat screen is just supposed to be here's a ton of information, anything you need to know about your character is all in one place. Have fun. Um, so having a little wheel that required you to do some work to see something a little bit better was kind of counterintuitive to that goal. So I changed it to just be here's all the stats that are just laid out for you. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is going to have to change. There very likely won't be just a giant bar of colors, and I'm probably going to put some more information over here, like what spells you have equipped and stuff like that, and then changing kind of how this works so it's a little bit more readable. But this is the general idea. All of these are equipment slots, so what you have equipped in each thing. This beige, I guess, brownie kind of looking color is your weapon. So if I equip my Identity Crisis here, go to the stat screen, it shows that I have Identity Crisis equipped. And same will function for any of the other slots. If you equip something, it will show up in the appropriate slot. The other piece that I got working, or some of it working, is the item screen. So clicking on any of them highlights the thing that you are currently on, and then gives the description of the item, and that's all. And then it allows you to scroll through the list depending on how big the list is. If I only had like the first three things, if I only had the first three things in my inventory, it wouldn't really let me scroll. Gonna have to change a bunch of things here and there. The scrolling isn't quite right, um, and I think I'm probably gonna try and add a little bit more. Since there is a lot of extra space in the screen, I'm probably gonna try and add a little bit more onto this right window. The description is really helpful, but like exactly what it's going to do in terms of numbers. So a lot like this. So I want something very similar to this, where it gives like a quick breakdown of exactly what it's going to do. It's going to give you 100 health when you click a light healing potion and use the item. Yeah, so the gist is here. Um, Finally, the talent screen. So it's got the three subclasses for each class, kind of broken up as like a pure version of your class. So Elementalist would be like a pure mage, and then Enchanter is like a warrior mage, and Chronomancer is like a rogue mage. Um, so clicking on any of these goes into the talent tree for that subclass, um, and the structure that it has. So all of these structures are completely arbitrary and just for testing purposes, but so it's got this kind of talent tree structure for the Elementalist. Going into the Enchanter, it has a different talent structure, so the buttons are in a different order, and the Chronomancer has a different one as well. Then, while you're in the tree, going on to any one of these buttons, the talents are all named exactly the same at the moment, just because I was copy-pasting stuff to make sure it worked. But the name of the talent is displayed, along with what it does when you get a rank of it, your current rank out of how many there are, and then how much it costs to actually purchase that talent. So at the moment I have 1,000 currency. This is going to cost 100, so using it will subtract 100 from the total, bring me down to 900, and now I have 1 rank out of 5. So while I'm on this, it still says 1 out of 5. If I go to another one, it would display what rank I am of that and the purchase cost. Purchase cost also goes up every time you buy a rank. Yeah, so um, probably what anyone would ever expect out of a talent system to do. If you purchase all of the talents, the purchase button goes away, and you just have what you're at. There's the currency counter is pretty broken at the moment, but it saves all of the information of where you're at. So if I go to a different talent, it doesn't somehow forget what this is. This is still rank out of 5 out of 5, and this is a 1. So yeah, the talent system's all functional. It's the currency thing is really terrible. The way I ended up doing it so it would even subtract stuff is just atrocious and needs to basically be rewritten on top of the fact that it's not even working properly. But all of the logic is here, so I'm really happy that this all worked out as well as it did. It's kind of hard to see the bigger picture, unfortunately, probably for anyone outside of my head. But the fact that this is all the way it is and working and I can purchase stuff is like phenomenal, and I'm super happy about. I think the next step for next week, and I am probably just going to try and stay off the computer for the rest of the weekend as best I can. Let my hand heal a little bit. I am going to next week try and get the rest of the talents. I probably have about a third of them mostly figured out. So try and design as much, if not all of them as I can, and then get all of that system laid out for how they're going to be kind of spread out. So the actual placement of these buttons, how they're going to look for each talent tree, get them all entered into Unity, and get that working so that they're all properly displayed. Then another piece that I need to work on, which I think I have the logic in, and isn't necessarily complicated, but the way I want it to work is you can explore any of the subclass choices that you have available to your class. So you can look at all of them, what they're supposed to be doing, but then as soon as you purchase one, you're locked into that class. So at the moment, it still goes back to this thing, but the idea would be that you can't go into a different class once you've picked. Like, once I've purchased these things, I can't go into the Chronomancer anymore. I'm an Elementalist. So finish up all that stuff with the talent thing, then go into working on the crafting and deconstruction screens. Then after that, get the map system working. So the idea for the map system that I want to have is essentially this is going to display in this map window. So kind of this checkerboard colored sort of idea. So you can very clearly see where each of the sections is for the game world. And again, as a reference, so this is the section I'm in right now. So you'd be able to zoom in and out of the map, and like be able. The main point that I want to make out of it is, it's going to be a really bland map. You can see exactly where you can and can't go and all that stuff. But then the main purpose is explaining where you need to go. So if an NPC in this section tells you, I'm going to go meet you in the, I don't know, the Water Kingdom, and he's going to meet you in this section right here, an icon would appear on your map that says, like, his face or whatever here, and now you know, okay, I'm going to go meet him over there. Then, the coup de grace, so to speak, of the map idea is that you would be able to place your own icons. So there's icons for all of the NPCs, or like the general idea of what you need to be doing for the story to progress, so you sort of know where you're supposed to be going. But then you also have your own icons that you can place wherever you want. So if you find an icon in this section, or a item in this section that you can't quite figure out how to get to, maybe the terrain is split up weird and you don't know how to get up to wherever the item is, so you can give yourself a little marker of like, I need to figure out how to get to this item at some point. Or a really tough enemy is over in this one, so you can put a little enemy icon. Yeah, I really love that idea. I'm excited to work on that, but I'm going to try and save that for later, because I think not necessarily complicated or take too long, but I think it'll be a good way to go out on the UI. I think is probably the best way to describe it. So yeah, next week, hopefully, barring any explosions in my hand, I will have the talents all in and functional. I'll have a video for that.